Hey everyone, Sophia here from My Great Challenge. Welcome back, and this is a Q&A. I haven't done a Q&A in such a long time. It's got to be a couple of years, at least two years. So I've done Q&As before, and some of the questions that I received, I have already answered. So look in the description down below, and I'm putting the links for all of the previous Q&As that I've had, and then I'm putting it as cards throughout the the videos, so that way I don't repeat myself, because some of you, I've watched every single one of them, and I don't think you want to hear about how I met Scott again. It's not about question, it's just that I've answered that before, and there's new questions. I'd rather focus on that. So I'm gonna start with the questions that were on Facebook, and then I'll do the questions that were on YouTube. I'm not going to be able to do all of them, so how about we just pick 10? I'll do 5 from Facebook and 5 from YouTube, and then I'll do a part 2, maybe part 3 if there's more questions in a week or two, or maybe next week. You never know, because you're gonna hear a lot of thunder. It's raining right now, which is a good thing for me because that gives me time to be indoors and doing this video. But it's cutting short on other videos I was planning on doing today. So without further ado, let's get started. The first question is from Maxine, and she wants to know if Mom has any plan on coming to the United States. And that's up in the air. We have applied, well, I have applied for a green card for Mom, and we're in the process. She's been accepted. There's stuff that needs to be done still, like, well, all the fees are paid, but there's some paperwork that I, as the petitioner, need to do, but I can't do them now because we're not in the process where I get to do it. Like, everything is in stages, all right? I know what they want, I just can't submit it yet. So does it mean that Mom is gonna move here? I don't know. It changes. It changes a lot. I would want for Mom to move here. One of you had asked whether or not, if she would live here. If she does live here, we have 2 options: either do an extension out of the living room, knock at the deck, because we really don't use the deck, plus some, so extend the kitchen and the deck and do a mother-in-law suite that would be on ground level, not elevated like the deck. So you would be having access, it's on entrance, and then if you need entrance to my living room, you would have to climb 3 steps, something like that. Same thing with the kitchen, if there is access to the kitchen. So there's that, or we can do a built onto the garage by knocking out half of the garage. Well, blocking half of it and then building. So that would be the left side of the garage where I have my Etsy stuff, and then do an L shape in the back of the yard, and with a little patio in the front. So that would be a totally private apartment. But that has to do with zoning in my town. I have to, get the electricity and the water and the sewage and all of that. And I don't think I would be able to rent it later on, because we zone for only 1 family. But I can always ask for a variant. So these are the options. Is Mom going to do it? It's up in the air. I don't know. But she can, once she has her green card, she can stay as long as she wants. Right now she can only stay up to 3 months. If she wants to spend a whole year, she can. If she wants to spend just 2 weeks, she can, and she can come as many times as she wants. So that was question number 1 off of Facebook. Number 2. Amy asked, would you consider teaching a how-to class for women? Many of us want to do projects for ourselves, but we're never taught. I was never taught either, Amy. And I think it shows. I mean, most of my DIY videos, my how-to videos are classes. kinda, you know. I mean, I'm really dragging it and showing you every step. I'm not sure what kind of class you're looking for. Maybe you want to be more specific. I'll respond in the next video. I was a trainer for a very long time, and I was a teacher, a substitute teacher, and I ran groups forever. So this is not something I'm not familiar with, so I would love to, but I just don't know what. I just don't know what subject, what it is that you want, what you have in mind, because that's what I do, I think, already. And if you mean that my videos are not detailed enough in the how-to and steps by steps, just let me know. I'll fix that. I'll be more videos on the same project. Instead of 8, it'll be 16, but that's okay. I don't care. I'm just not sure what you mean by that. So come back and tell me exactly what you mean. Number 3, Wendy asks, what's one project you wish you never started? You know, I thought about that a lot since I saw your question, and I don't think there's any project that I regret doing. There's projects that I've done and then I ended up ditching, like the lamp. You know, and I actually liked that lamp. It just didn't work for. It was just too big. I like the part where I painted the gold in it. There was a desk that I did for the basement that had like a top. You know, initially it was like a red, white, and blue desk. I had it on the deck, and then I brought it down to the basement. These are like 9 years old videos. So that got ditched because I just did something different. But for every single one of the projects that I do, regardless of whether I do a good job or poor job, I'm learning. So I don't have anything that I regret, because everything is a learning experience. Everything was me either sharpening a skill or learning a new skill. So there's no regrets. Was there useless items and projects? Yeah, sure. I think we all did some stuff at some point or another in our home or garden, and we thought at the moment was a genius idea, and then a year later we're like, what was I thinking? We all had those moments, but again, everything is learning. Like for instance, I'm doing the secretary right now, and I'm learning how to fix veneer. And as I'm making mistakes fixing the veneer, I'm learning so that the next time around that I'm going to do some kind of repair on veneer, I remember, okay, you can't go outside of the crack lines, because then you remove the wood grain, and when you stain, it will show as a different pattern or texture. So that's something I've learned. Do I regret making that mistake? Not really, because it doesn't show, only in certain angles. But again, yeah, everything is a learning experience, so nah, no regret. Even the lamp, I actually liked the lamp. It just was too big. Okay, Nancy, we're on number 4, right? Okay, I may do a little bit more because I'm talking fast. Nancy asks, what are 5 things on your bucket list? I'm gonna need more than a bucket, but 5 things, okay. Random order, no priority. I would love to go to Japan and South Korea. We're gonna bunch it together. I would love to spend 2 weeks, 1 week in Japan and 1 week in South Korea. I would absolutely love that. I love anything Asian. I love the food. I love the art, the culture, the history, the music, everything. And I've been like that since very little. I blame my mom for that, because she's got a liking for Japan. She went there twice already, and brought me stuff when I was a little girl, and I was just fascinated and always had an interest in Japan. So I would love to go to Japan and South Korea. So that's one. 2 on the bucket list. You know, I've mentioned this before, but I really have never gone anywhere in the United States west of Cleveland, Ohio. Never. I have no idea what Texas looks like, Utah, Colorado, Kansas, North Dakota, California, you name it. So I would like to travel the United States. One of the things that I would love to do, we're going to bunch it together with the travel in the United States. Scott and I would love to get an RV. Either, I don't think we would purchase one, but probably like rent an RV for a month or 2 months, like an entire summer. And one of you has a question about retirement, so I guess that's going to go into that too. And just do like a major road trip and just cross the United States and maybe go left and right a little bit, you know, or north and south, and go see things. But I don't care for big cities. I lived in big cities. I see no value in big cities. I mean, they have their purpose, but I see no value. I don't want to go on vacation to go and visit a big city. That was one of the things when we went to New England a couple of years ago. And, you know, we did Plymouth, and we went to Boston, and we did a bunch of other places. And I have to say, I didn't care for Boston. It's a beautiful town. It was interesting, yes, but okay, I've seen it. Move on. I was way more interested in the stuff outside of Boston, like the little towns, how people live, how, you know, this one lady keeps a garden. That's the kind of stuff I like. So a road trip across the United States with a specific destination. I would love to go to Utah, but outside of Salt Lake City. I'll spend a day there, but I want to see the state. I would love to go to Colorado. I'd like to see the Grand Canyon, Las Vegas, Kentucky, Kansas, Arkansas. I'd love to go to Savannah and do the southern state. Florida, not so much. I don't like the hot, you know. Notice I'm not mentioning California. I have no interest. I know you guys, a lot of you live there. I apologize. I don't mean to be offensive. It's just too hot. Okay, I don't do well in the heat. So, I'll do the Grand Canyon and Las Vegas only because I'm interested in seeing them. But New Mexico, Nevada, all of those states, even Texas, like where it's really, really hot and desert-like, it's not for me. I'll go to Northern California. So, yeah, an RV trip across the United States and go west of Cleveland would be nice. So Japan, so that's number 2. Number 3 on the bucket list. It's gonna sound so weird. And I'm thinking about it now because I was just talking about it with a coworker of mine. This week, actually, we're just talking about that. I would love, but the kids would have to have their own life, and you know, like I don't have to still be a mom at home. I would like to find a farm, preferably Amish, that would take me in for like a couple of months, and I just work. That's what I do. I tend to the animals, I garden, I fix stuff, I get dirty, I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to milk cows, or I would love to do that. Scott not so much, but he could use a break, I'm sure. I would love to do that, you know, and it's, again, I'm not a city girl. I mean, I lived in cities, but I like to get my hands and my fingernails dirty. I like to smell the earth. I like to smell animals. you know, there's something about it. It's so organic. It's in nature. I love it. So yeah, that's why there's plants now. Look at this thing. It's huge. I had to move it down on the table because it was getting too big for the shelf. So yeah, that would be on my bucket list. So if any of you has a farm, would you take me in? Would you adopt me for like a couple of months? You know I'm a hard worker. You know that. If you watch the channel, you know I'm fearless. I'll do all sorts of crazy stuff. And but yeah, I would love to do it. And if it could be like an Amish farm, that would be even better. Live like the Amish. I know it sounds weird, a lot of you are wondering why, but understand I'm from Europe. This is such a strange lifestyle and concept. It's fascinating. It's just fascinating. I'll go live with the Mormons for 2 months too, but you know, you get the idea. Like just like move somewhere for 2 months and live like other people, with other people, and learning their lifestyle is something that I would really enjoy doing. Where are we? We're on number 3 now, right? On the bucket list. Okay, number 4. What's this bucket list anyway? It's things that you want to do before you die, or see before you die. I'm desperately trying to learn to sew. I don't really have the time right now. My spare time is in the garden. It's the season for gardening, so I can't do both. It's one or the other. But I think I would like it if I could do like a series of classes, but extended, like a long time, not a 3-hour deal, you know, not a Joann's craft store class, like a real school, to learn fashion design, not necessarily design, but all the techniques. I would love that. I would really love that. So that would be 4, and then 5. That's a hard question because I don't really think about those things. I really can't think of anything, but there's one thing that I've discovered recently, and the video will be posted on YouTube soon, probably like in 2 weeks, was the Volvicomte Castle. There's a thing that they do that's called the Friends of Volvicomte, and it's like a ongoing membership and fundraiser. And one of the levels, like it starts at 200, but I think you can give less, is the $12,000 level for 1 year, and you get access to like some really amazing stuff, all of the events, and then, you know, because they do specific events there, but you also get private dinners with the owners, the Vogüé family, and really VIP type stuff. I think I would like that very much. It's never going to happen because who's got 12K to drop on something like this? Well, it's 6,000 miles away. But I think I would like that very much because the experience, it's impacted me. Like visiting Volvicomte really impacted me, and I meant, you know, in the reel that I put on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram at mygreatchallenge, join me or follow me on Instagram. I've seen a lot of castles in France, and in Spain, in Italy, in Germany, in Belgium, Holland, Switzerland. Big mansions here. I never saw Biltmore, but I've seen a lot of castles. And, you know, we went there. I always wanted to see it. I took mom, and my expectation was it's going to be another castle. There was something about it that was just so gripping and magical about it. I don't know how to describe it. It really does have an atmosphere that the other castles didn't have. They all felt like you're touring, or it was just for show. This one, you feel the presence of the people who live there. When you walk through the rooms, you really do feel that. So I would like to have a more in-depth experience, maybe like a private tour of all of the areas that are not being seen. And I would particularly be interested in the behind the scenes, all the servants' quarters, the secondary staircase, the storage areas. I would love to see that and spend time with the curator and learn about the furnishing and the restorations and how they acquired, what decision process or what decision tree do they go through in order to pick one piece over another in the decorative in the decorative style, or how they want to decorate a particular room for whatever season. I just like really get immersed in the whole process of managing that property, but also learn more about the history of it. I would really like that. and I know I sound so weird. I don't care. I like what I like, and I know who I am. And I encourage you to figure it out for yourself too. Who are you and what is it that you like? And never be embarrassed to having weird likings and weird taste, and whatever's your vibe, just cultivate that. So yeah, I know it sounds weird. Was that the fifth one? So we had Japan, the Amish, road trip, Vol Vicomte, and sewing. Yeah, okay, I did 5. All right, take a break. Be right back. This is an interesting one. Eileen says, what is it that you have that I don't have? I look at jobs and discerns whether I can do them or not. You do things I and most women would never attempt to do. You're absolutely fearless. Well, okay. I hear that a lot. Where do you get your energy, and how do you do it all? I need you to look at your lifestyle, but in an honest way. Where do you spend your time? Do you watch a lot of TV? Do you go shopping? Do you have girls' night out? Do you do a lot of magazine reading, social media, mindless browsing? Because if you do, that's the answer. I don't do any of that. If I go shopping, I shop mostly online, 90% online now. If I go shopping, it's at the thrift store or the supermarket, that's it. And Scott does most of the supermarket because he's the one who's doing the cooking now. I don't have girls' night out. That's not something that we do. We don't go to the movies. We don't go to theater. I don't go to the salon. I don't get my nails done. That's a 3-hour deal right there. I don't get my hair done. I mean, I did when I went in France, but after that, I cut it myself. Okay. And I don't care if it shows. I just don't have the time. These are not things that I want to spend time on. We don't have TV, so we don't watch TV at all. It's almost useless to have that many TVs. When there's like a major event going on, we'll go, we'll turn on the TV in the living room or in the kitchen, and then we'll watch whatever is live on YouTube that we can follow. we were watching Yellowstone in 1923 and 1883, very good shows by the way, from a bedroom TV. But once the seasons are over, we're not looking for another show to watch. So these are all time suckers. And because I don't do those things, I have the time to do other things. So that's number one. Number two, I don't know if you would call me driven, but I need to be engaged in stuff, whatever it is, at all times. I just can't sit and stare or do nothing. I feel like if I do nothing, I'm wasting valuable time. And I got stuff that needs to be done. And you'll see in the next video, because I'm going to talk about that, my to-do list for the house is about 5 miles long. I need to get started on doing those things. So do I watch TV or do I do those things? Do I go to the movies or do I fix this? Do I, you see what I mean? So it's, I need to be engaged. I like to do things with my hands. Having a YouTube and a Patreon does help because I need to constantly have content. I mean, I'm literally, this is all I do on the weekend. Just for instance, yesterday, it was Saturday, I filmed the update, the Monday update for Patreon. I filmed the first day video for Patreon, and I started filming a product review, part of a product review, because this is the kind of product that needs several days worth. So that's what I did. And then after that, I edited. Today, I woke up, oh no, after that I went to the garden and I filmed a gardening video for the Tuesday video. Then I edited, then we had dinner, and that was it. Today, so far, I filmed the secretary video, and I'm doing this video. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's raining outside, so I doubt I'm gonna garden, but I'm gonna try anyway, so I'm gonna film that. And then after that, all I'm gonna do is edit for Monday. So it's Monday's update video for Patreon, it's the YouTube video for Monday, and it's the blog for Patreon. So that's all of Sunday. Then I go to work, and then when I come back from work, I'm editing every night. So that's how I do it. This is my lifestyle. But I can tell you one thing, Eileen, is that I never look at something and say, I cannot do that. I figure out a way. I don't care if I botch it. I don't care if I have to ditch it at some point, but you'll never hear me say, this is too hard. That's not for me. I'm gonna try to do it. I'll figure it out. And again, if it's a big mistake and I should have never got involved in it, well then lesson learned. We go back to what I was saying initially. It's just a lesson learned. One of you is asking right now on Facebook, what's my next project? So I have 3 projects that I'm gonna try to do this year. And I have the rest of the year to do that because it's not July yet, so I have 6 months basically. One is the processing center in the cold room. I'm gonna have to wall the thing off. I've done the closet, it's not the same thing, but I have an idea of how to do it. So I'm gonna do that. Does it make me feel less? I don't know, I don't think so. The other one is I want to do, and Scott wants to help, and the kids want to help too. We want to do a memorial fountain in the secret garden for our cats, for Vesper and Fiona. And for that, I'm going to have to create a fountain. I'm going to build my own. Again, I have an idea of what needs to be done. Most people would go on Amazon and buy a $365 resin type fountain and call it a day. But I want what I want. I know I have a vision, and I'm gonna learn to create my own concrete basin. and the disappearing water with the pump underneath it, and run the pump into something else, probably one of the pagodas that I have, and I'm going to create my own little memorial garden for the cats. So that's another project that I want to do. But the one that I have absolutely no idea how to do it is the vanity in the bathroom. I want to do that before the end of the year. I want to create and build a long vanity and have a countertop that I probably will have made. But I want a long vanity that takes, that goes from the wall, because I have a space now, all the way under the window with cabinets in it. And I don't know how to do that. Do I look at it and say, I can't do this, I'm just gonna wait? No. I've been talking about it forever. I have YouTube, I have books, I have the internet, I have a ton of people and groups I belong to that can give me guidance. I've found plans. Hold on. Because clearly there's some people who are much better at it than me. Sawdust Girl has a website, and she gives you all the plan to build this vanity. And this is what I'm going to build, except there's going to be only one sink on it because I'm on a slant. I cannot have two sinks. And she gives you all the measurements, how you cut it, how you build it, and I'm going to follow it. There's a ton of resource out there. So I don't know if that makes me fearless. I think it just makes me like a go-getter type. I don't know. I'm not afraid of failure. I think that's what it comes down to. And that's probably why most people say, I can't do this. You're afraid you're going to fail. Me, I'm looking at it in terms of, if I fail, I ditch it and I go and buy a real vanity from the store. But I'm going to try to build it. I don't care if it doesn't work. I don't care if it's not perfect. I don't care if it looks like an amateur made it. This is my house. I don't plan on selling it. The kids can do whatever they want with it. If they want to sell it or they want to gut it, that's on them. But we don't plan on leaving, so I don't know if it's fearlessness. I think it's just I enjoy the challenge. I welcome the challenges. As long as you, what's the quote? If you believe you can't, you're right. And if you believe you can, you're right too. And I believe I can. I just have to learn how to do it. I have a general idea, but I have to go and look at the resources. We have the internet now. Nothing is a secret anymore. Now, I'm never going to reach the skill set level of somebody who's been doing cabinetry for the last 25 years. I'm perfectly aware of that. But I'm okay with it because I'm not looking for that. That's not the goal. The goal is challenging myself and encouraging others to challenge themselves. So as long as you're going to say, when you look at a job, that it's not for you or it's too hard, then you're right. It's not for you and it's going to be too hard. It's a mindset. Seriously, I don't think I'm going to be able to answer all of your questions in one video. I'm going to have to do a part 2. Anita asked, I believe you've touched on this before, but I wonder what your plans are for retirement. Okay, so I talked a little bit about that. Having an RV, and you never know, we may end up buying one. Guy 2 doors down has one. He parks it in Virginia. I don't know if there's like an RV community there where you can park it for the rest of the year. But he pulls it out twice a year and he has it in his driveway. for a couple of weeks, and then he takes off for a whole month, and then we see the RV again for a couple of weeks, and then I guess he drives it down to Virginia. It's not big. I think it's like a the kind that has like a bedroom. It's not even a diesel pusher. It's a regular RV. So I'd like that. I'd like to have an RV and go do things. One of the things I really want to do too, I should put that on the bucket list, is going to Alaska. I would love to see Alaska. Not under snow, okay? When it's green. I like to see Alaska. So I'd like to do that. And I'm serious when I tell you, like, the reselling thing is something that I could do until I can't do it anymore. I would love to have a booth in an antique mall, and you know, not be there every single day, but once in a while park myself there on my little chair, read a book, and just talk to people. I would love to have that. I'd like to have a bed and breakfast. I don't know how that's gonna happen. Should that be in the bucket list? It's never gonna happen. I don't see that happening. But retirement for me is going to be really doing all the things that interest me and immersing myself in it. Gardening, sewing, quilting, thrifting, reselling, restoring, traveling, throw a couple of grandkids in the mist. So I'm definitely going to be sewing little dresses, hopefully, if I have granddaughters. With my luck, it's going to be old boys. Making quilts, baby quilts, you know. That's how I envision my retirement. It's pretty much going to be what I'm doing now, minus the full-time job. So I will fill up the time spent 9 to 5 at a job with the things I already do. And I think this is why some people have such a hard time with retirement, and that they really don't have any solid passion and interest during their working life. They come home, they watch TV, they mow the lawn on the weekend. Seasonally, they may do something in the garden, but that's it. And once they retire, it's empty, there's nothing. Me, I can't wait to have more time to do the stuff that I'm doing. So that's how I envision my retirement. Going 100% into my interest, and if I have grandkids, the grandkids. Hopefully they'll be around. They won't be, you know, hundreds of miles away. And if they are, then I'll hop on the RV and go visit. And I'll quilt in the RV. So yeah, that's living with passion and doing all my interests. Right now I'm doing that 30% of my life, but doing it 70% of my life. The rest is just regular life stuff. Kimberly asked, if you knew you only had 25 years left here on Earth, what would you change in your life? Okay, Kimberly, you must be very young because I'm 53. So if you had 25 years, I'd be 78. Let's shorten it, okay? Let's say if I only had 1 year left, because 25 years is pretty much how much I got left. So let's say I only got 5 years or whatever. Well, I'll start working on my bucket list. I live life fully, I guess. But I'm already, you know, I think some of you noticed that there's been kind of like a shift in the past year or so. There's a lot of stuff I stopped caring about. Like, really stopped caring. I don't care. you know. And once you move into a stage in your life, and I guess that comes about with middle age for us ladies, like once you pass that 50, you start looking at the stuff that used to bother you back in the days, and you think about it and the ridiculousness of it all. Like, I can't believe that stuff rented so much space in my head. Like, what was I thinking? But I think we all go through the stages, and I've reached a point now where there's so many things that I just don't care about anymore. So I'm already living a life that's pretty serene and pretty stable emotionally. Like, I do things that I like to do already. I'm already engaged in things that I'm passionate about. I no longer torture myself over certain things. I just, you know, I don't know how to describe it. I'm in my zone. So if I had a doctor telling me you only have 1 year, I would take probably a sabbatical and try to spend as much time possible with my mother, and with my kids, and do things that are memory making. So go visit places. Definitely dump a ton of money to go to Japan. I would love to share that. See, I'm not one to enjoy experiences alone. I need to be with people, and I need to experience something and then watch the other person experiencing it too. So traveling with others and discovering things with others is something that I really enjoy. So if only had, and again, I'm shortening it because in 25 years I'll be 78. It's like the life expectancy is cutting it close, okay? Though I would like to live longer, but you know. So if only had 1 year, spend as much time having experiences, discovering things with the people who matter in my life. And that would be my mom, my children, my husband. And watch them going through the experience of discovery and experiencing things for the first time. I don't know if that answers it. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would take a sabbatical and I would just go and spend time with people. When you get a diagnosis, like I did a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, it changes you. Whether it's something that's like a chronic illness like I have, or if it's a terminal disease, like advanced cancer, or you know what I mean. It changes you. You start looking at things in a different perspective. You start looking at your life and place value on different things, on the things that matter and what's important. You reevaluate a lot of things, and you start looking at all the times that you've wasted, the people you've wasted time, energy, emotion on, and you start letting go of a lot of things, and you walk away from a lot of things, and it's very liberating. And you don't need to be given a diagnosis to do that. It's a mindset again. You can choose to live your life and continue to live your life same as it was yesterday, with you having concern, for instance, about what people think of you, fear of judgment, fear of failure, you're not good enough, low self-esteem, you name it. You can choose to live tomorrow the way it was yesterday. Or you can decide, because it's a decision, to look at life in a totally different way and just live fully with passion. And I'm pretty much doing that right now. So if I only had 1 year left, I would have to stop working, but I would probably just continue doing what I'm doing now. It, you know, engage in my hobbies and my interests, things that bring me joy, and then try to spend as much time with my family members and share experiences with them. That's what I would do. But don't wait to be told you only have X amount of time. And I sense you're young, so I'm telling you, don't wait. Because sometimes it ends up being too late. You can't do it anymore, or you're too tired, or you're too ill. You don't have the means. So just go for it. That's the way I look at it. And that doesn't, maybe that goes back into the fearless thing. I just feel that in the past year and a half or 2 years, something shifted where I'm looking at things in a totally different perspective. And I'm telling you, like, the weight of certain things that were troublesome in my life is off. And I feel a totally different way about myself and about my life in general. It's just, and I've, you know, part of it is me putting things in place for that. But I just decided that I needed to make a change. Physically, emotionally, financially, job-wise, you know, health-wise. I had to make a change. And once you start doing those things, it's like a snowball. It's like everything else starts to fall into place, and it's like a magnet. It starts attracting all sorts of good things, and you become open to so many more good things and great things in your life. So don't wait for somebody to tell you you only got X amount of time. Just start living your life, okay? Start living your life. Do you. Okay, I'm doing the YouTube ones. Heather is asking, when I retire, do I plan on making things at the sewing machine and selling them on Etsy? How many businesses do I need, Heather? Probably not. Probably not. Because I can see where this would take away from the other things that I want to do. It's just something that I would be adding on top of everything else. I like to make pouches and little things, but some people, and I see it on Instagram all the time. Okay, so I'm back, and oh my God. It's very humid in New Jersey today, okay? It's, yeah, okay. Whatever. I'm moving on to YouTube questions. Heather, maybe okay, when gardening season, Heather is asking, when gardening season is over and you are back sewing, would you consider making little things on video, then giving us the chance to buy them on your Etsy shop? I don't think so. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't want to make you guys stuff. It's just that I'm already engaged in so many things. It would be one more things to get engaged in. Maybe when I retire, but it would be just another business. And I don't see myself having another one. Now, do I envy the ladies who are on Instagram and you see them with their little business where they do like little felted animals and they make, I don't know, embroidered things, and they sell them. I think it's wonderful. But I don't think they do all the other stuff that I do. So, and if they do, then, you know, kudos. But I just don't see myself doing that. And quite frankly, it's not that I don't think I'm good enough, but I just, why would you want to buy a pouch made by me? Well, there's so many other people doing it. There is something coming up though. I'm not talking about it yet. That is using another talent of mine, sometimes in August. It's a branch off something that's already existing. But making little things, I mean, it's cute. Would I like to? Yes. In reality, is it going to happen? No. I don't want to disappoint you, Heather. I just, you know, there's one lady, I promised her, I told her I'm gonna make you a quilt, okay? And it was the lady who had bought the big, and I didn't forget you, if you're watching. Do you remember the crock, the antique crock? She had bought it off YouTube, not YouTube, eBay, when we really found ourselves in a pickle financially because Scott had lost his job. And she bought the crock and she said, I'm buying it, but you keep it. And I still have it. And once we got financially back on track, what I did was send her the money back. And I told her, I'm gonna make you a quilt. And I even have the colors. She wanted something with burgundy in it. And I had the design, but I never got a chance to doing it. So things like that I will do, but I will not do it for selling. Because I don't think that my stuff is special. You know? It's not that I'm not good at it again. I just don't see myself doing it. So Heather, I'm sorry, I don't want to disappoint you, but I just don't see it happen. Okay, so this question is from Virgie Sexton, 5048. And she's got a picture of a cat. Oh. So where did I learn to speak English? Here and watching QVC. Back in the days, okay. I'm sorry you lost your cat. And she wants to know, do you think you'll get another cat? Yes. Actually, we've been talking about it. Not yet. Okay, we have 2 elderly dogs who do not need, I'm not gonna say the disturbance, but the stress of having kittens around. But what Scott and I have been discussing is like we would like to rescue, okay? All our pets have been rescued except for the sheep. He was actually bought from a breeder. And he's the most troublesome of the bunch. This dog. But we believe in rescue. We actually been thinking about getting a bonded pair. But young. Not kitties that need, you know, but like maybe 6-7 months, but a bonded pair. Either a brother and a sister, or 2 brothers or 2 sisters. So he'll have his cat, I'll have my cat. With my luck, they will both be on top of him, sleeping at night. He's a cat magnet. He didn't even know it was a cat magnet, but yes. We'll get more cats, and we'll probably will not have dogs again. Somebody asked me that, so I'll answer here since it's appropriate. And it's not that we don't love the dogs. I'm going to be an absolute wreck when I lose Electra, because she's my baby, she's my princess, but she's slowing down, y'all. She's 13. She's really slowing down. She's limping, it's arthritis, she's getting the pills and the special vitamins and stuff. It's making no difference. I don't think we're gonna have dogs again. And it's not that we don't love them. I love dogs. And it's not that they're too much work. It's just, maybe we've discovered cats. I think that's what it is. We thought we were dog people, but turns out we're cat people. Know who you are. Okay. Next one, and that would be the last one. Okay, so let me just random pick. Okay, so this is related to the AIP and gluten-free. Am I still gluten-free? Okay, so the last year, all the way up to when I went to France, 100%, 98% gluten-free. It made such a difference. And I don't have celiac disease, okay? But I was following AIP. So AIP, and I did a whole video on that. I'll put the link right here. AIP is an elimination diet and then a reintroduction. So you eliminate a whole bunch of inflammatory foods first, and then you start reintroducing foods to see whether or not those were the ones that were making you sick. And trust me when I tell you I was sick. I was sick. Almost hospitalized sick. So I eliminated a whole bunch of stuff. And then I started reintroducing things. I reintroduced eggs, no problem. I reintroduced tomatoes, no problem. I reintroduced eggplant. These are part of the nightshade family, no problem. I reintroduced bell peppers, living hell. So sick. Reintroduced beans, living hell. So sick. I can have chickpeas, I can't have beans. So you learn what you can have and not have. I also can no longer have spices, like hot spices. I can have the regular spices, the cardamom, the nutmegs, things like that. But I cannot have cayenne pepper, I can have peppercorn, I cannot have the hot, spicy stuff. I can't have any of that. And for a good year and a half, I was gluten-free. I did my best to be gluten-free. And I was really consistent on it. And I felt great. And then I went to France. And the first 2 days I was gluten-free. And then I said, the hell with it. So I had gluten again. And I was fine. And then I came back, and for about 3 or 4 weeks, I had the hardest time getting back on gluten-free. And let me tell you, I couldn't function. Forgetful, fog, tired, sluggish, making mistakes, taking forever to do a task. It was attention problem. It was really bad. And that's something I discussed with my Patreon folks. And I told them, listen, it's the death of me. I just can't have gluten. Period. So I'm back on gluten-free. I haven't had any gluten in 2 weeks now. And I'm back to normal. I'm at baseline again. So yes, I'm still doing AIP, and I'm still gluten-free. So AIP for me, because it's different for other people, I'm pretty much eliminated gluten. I pretty much eliminated sugar. I pretty much eliminated a lot of the inflammatory foods. And that's about it. And I feel great. I think I look pretty good. It's been working for me. It's not for everybody, I get it. A lot of people think it's too restrictive, but I fell into it, and I did it because I was desperate to find something that would help with my symptoms. And for those of you who are new and don't know, I've been diagnosed with Hashimoto, which is a thyroid disorder, and I'm also diagnosed with arthritis and psoriasis. And the neck thing is completely gone. It took about a year. It's completely gone. I had psoriasis on my neck, and all of the other symptoms are gone. So it worked for me. And you know, I'm not a doctor, I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm just telling you that I got to a point where I was so desperate and I didn't want to take meds other than the thyroid meds to take care of the medical issues that I had. I didn't want to take pills because you end up having to take them forever. They have side effects on your liver and all. I wanted to do things naturally, and I did AIP, and it's all about the food you eat, and it worked for me. So I hope that answered your question. My thyroid is regulated. It's perfect where it needs to be. My cholesterol is going down. My BMI is seriously gotten down. I'm exercising. Not as much as I would like to, but I am. I'm on the bike. I stay engaged in gardening. That's a lot of physical stuff with the gardening. A lot of lifting, a lot of bending, a lot of squatting. So all of those are activities that actually do help. But it's mostly, dairy. I haven't completely eliminated dairies, but I think I only have dairy once a week. Sometimes not at all. And I'm talking a yogurt or cheese. And I don't miss it. I don't, because mindset, the alternative, I don't want to go back to it. You know, I kept pushing through and doing YouTube, but I don't think that some of you realize how sick I was physically and how I struggled to continue to do YouTube during that time. I gave you my all, and it was probably one of the hardest times of my life. 2019 to 2020 really, really, really wasn't well. So out of desperation, I picked AIP because I went to see a functional doctor who said, look, this is what's going on. The food you eat is killing you. Your body is attacking itself, autoimmune disorder, and you need to do something about it. And so we had a plan, and, you know, here I am, 100% better and fearless, apparently. But with that, because I made so many changes on the inside with the biology, a lot of emotional and psychological changes came about. The mindset changed. I look at things differently now. And when I tell you there's so many things that I let go of, I really mean it. So prepare to be sick of me, because I'm going to be in your face. It's just, this new me. I don't know. I don't know if it's Sophia V.2. I don't know if it's version 2 of me, but it's a totally different life, and I don't see myself ever going back to 17, 18, 19, to those years, because it was horrible. I'm telling you, the doctor almost put me in the hospital. It was that bad. Between the cortisol level, the cholesterol, and all, it was really bad. But I took care of it. And not that I was given a diagnosis with a time limit, like you only have X amount of time, but I think that it was a good wake-up call, because I like life. You see, that's the way I am. I like life. I'm engaged. I live with passion. I have interest. I like life. So I wanted to be able to enjoy my life, and the only way to do it was to make some drastic cuts in my life, in people, in jobs, in foods, in mindset, in time appropriation, goal, how I work my goals. I had to change it all. And I'm a work in progress. I'm still working on it, but I had to change it all. So I hope that answers all your questions. Guys, I will do a part 2 because there's so many other questions I didn't go to, and I know this is going to be very long, so I apologize for that. I like to talk. And I take forever to get to the point. I get that. So thank you for taking the time to watching this, and maybe you learned a little bit more about me. And again, the other questions, you know, how we met, how did I teach the kids French, how did I get here, and all of that. These are all answered in other previous Q&As, so links are here, down below, and up there. You can check those out, and that would be it. I will see you sometimes this week on Friday for our Friday video, and that would be it. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye, guys.